Now, I'm really excited to be here with Jesper and Jessica. Thank you so much for joining us to talk a little bit about something I know you're both very passionate about, opportunity. You are both some of the most optimistic people that I've ever met and that I know.
We are normally right.
Yes, exactly.
Yes.
Optimism is something that's been a bit of a trend through both of your careers and lives, I think, actually. So I want to see if you can share some of that with our audience. We need some optimism, and we need it now. So let me start right there. It's challenging times for IKEA, for the world. Can we be optimistic? Jessica?
It's no other alternative, right? We always need to stay optimistic, and I think the values are really helping us also to stay optimistic every single day. But I think also it's something what I've seen that makes me very optimistic and hopeful, and that's kind of all the meetings I go into. I like big climate meetings, partner meetings, and so on. Everybody is really pulling together, focus on collaboration like never before, and also a sense of urgency. So that makes me also feel very hopeful and optimistic actually going forward. And I mean, the work that our partners are doing every single day, the IKEA Foundation co-workers that are really kind of working together with our partners, that also give me a lot of optimism and hope, because I think, that's really holding us together, and it's just, the passion and the energy that we need to bring forward.
Yeah. Jesper?
Great. Well, I have to start by saying congratulations to the new strategy and to the amazing work and to 5 years Foundation Week. I'm really happy that we come this far together. Yeah. Well, when it comes to optimism, obviously it's strange in a way because we have to manage deep concerns and worries and all sorts of negative emotions because it's real, and the impact, not at least from climate change, but other calamities in the world is of course real. But on the other hand, I've never been so optimistic as when I left the Climate Week this year. The reason is twofold. A few years ago, you see, being in those contexts, it was all about having the awareness of the challenges that we experience. But now I left with both the fact-based knowledge of commitment and success. And I give you two very interesting numbers. When it comes to commitment today, the corporate community that I represent as a corporate leader, today 99% of the 23,000 members of United Nations Global Compact, 99% of the CEOs are as committed or will increase their commitment to climate when it comes to the future. So that's just a fundamental number. 88% claim the business case is better today than 5 years ago. That gives me a lot of hope. On top of that, we see company after company, and also in the aggregate, actually, the biggest companies, multinationals, are moving this agenda, and they're doing it while doing good business. And that makes me incredibly optimistic. So we're not alone.
Yeah, it's amazing to see. And these are facts that you don't always hear. So these are things that we need to share more about.
Absolutely.
100%. The Foundation is gearing up to lean even more into the fight against climate change. And we've been clear, it's a fight. With everything going on right now, why do you think this is something that we need to prioritize? There's so many things happening. Jessica?
I think, we have a big responsibility as individuals and also as a collective, right? And I think stepping into this strategy work now, it made us even more, daring and courageous to really make a difference in focusing in order to create impact. So it is a very challenging period of time. And I think being a mother as well and having the big question on the table all the time, what are you and your generation doing in order to have a livable planet for the next generation? And I think that is a sense of urgency that we need to wake up with every single day and attend to. So we really need to focus here. And I think it's only, from a professional perspective, also looking at the strategy now, it's only 2% of philanthropic capital that actually goes into climate today. And there, I think we have also a big responsibility to bring other funders with us in order to unlock more capital and to really drive more funding into the real actions that we need to focus on. And also to be a little bit more daring to say, what's your job, what's my job, and together we can actually move things. So we can actually create more of system change and really to be a little bit more explicit about the roles and responsibility, because everybody cannot, we cannot afford that everybody's running on exactly the same things. So it's a big shift, and it's a big responsibility that we have in front of us. Exciting, but challenging.
Absolutely. And Jesper, you've had a chance to learn a little bit about what we're doing, and I think the more you learn, the more excited you get. At least that's what I see on your face.
Well, I think we are part of the same system, the world, and we do different things, as you say, Jessica, but the intentions and the convictions are the same, and it's just wonderful to see the work you do. It's always been inspiring to me, and I think it's been one of those untold stories until the recent years, when I think you and the foundation and together with us have been so much better at reaching out, creating ways to engage through ambassadorship or great communication. And I think today we know that most of our coworkers in my company know that the residual money that we are fighting hard for actually goes to something that makes a lot of contribution to the world. And that motivation is, of course, incredible. So we need to continue to share that story, and of course to applaud the incredible work that you do.
Yeah, thank you. I know that you are both incredibly passionate people. You talk a lot about energy, leadership, but also action. And I know that we need to take action, and we need to do it quite soon. And there's an expectation that we all do our part. So what would you have the audience do today, tomorrow, and in the months that are coming to make an impact? Jessica?
I think the curiosity to know more about facts and science and general awareness, because the misinformation and disinformation that we face today call upon all of us to spend a little bit more time to go deeper and to actually understand. And I think Gapminder is actually really a good tool for me, at least, to go back to a time to really pressure test my perceptions on things, right? But I think that's a big responsibility, to be curious about what's happening and to find out more. And I think also to really have good examples, because it's nothing as powerful as good examples, right? So I think also what we're going to learn during the next couple of days here, also during the IKEA Foundation days, is that we're going to have good examples that we can all share with others. And that, I think, it's a very important component. And then back to what can I do individually and what can we do as a collective to constantly approach actions with that mindset.
Very good. But I think again, back to what we have been speaking about, and in your question, I think it's important to acknowledge there are still some people who don't think the boat is leaking, while our feet are wet. And I think we could afford to leave those people on the sideline for a while, because we need people who find the leakage, we need people who get to the pumping, and we need people who maybe figure out why did we end up in this, and how can we find ways in the future that matters. When it comes to action, I think it's at the heart of what we do. We have said since long that words are important, but in the end of the day, it's only actions that's going to change this. We are in a hurry. This is a crisis that, as you said, Jessica, we can't afford to hand over. We have to address it now. We're on the clock speed. It is a crisis where we need to work with impact. It's not about symbolism or doing things like looks pretty. This is about real change and fundamental results. It's also about collaboration, because I know for a fact that even if IKEA is a big company or network of companies, we can't change this alone. So collaboration is required on a totally different scale. And finally, I think you were touching it, Jessica, we need to tell the stories. And there is actually currently, interesting enough, two reasons for companies not to tell what they do. One is called the fear of greenwashing, because as you step out, you will be criticized, interesting enough, very often by the like-minded. And the other thing is greenwashing, when silence, which I think is the most dangerous thing, leads people to believe that nothing is happening, and nothing could be more wrong. We started late, but the speed of change and the examples are out there. And that's why also in the IKEA circle, we're currently actually rolling out what we call Do Something, Change Everything, which is, I think it's close to 30 examples of super impactful actions that has been taken that actually matters. And we think it's an obligation to make sure that everybody has the opportunity to access this.
Yeah, really exciting. Thank you both for joining us for a few minutes here. I think we have plenty of reason to be optimistic. And this week, IKEA Foundation Week is a great example of that. And hopefully you'll join us for the entire week and be able to be part of that.